Deborah Sadler, and I'm the author of the trilogy Words of the Temple, A New Humanity, which is a positive cosmic perspective on what's been taking place on our planet. It takes place during the COVID epidemic, but throughout it, I weave esoterics of astrology and channelings from Kryon and a galactic view, an astronomical view of what's taking place on our planet. And this video is for entertainment purposes only. I have talked about a metaphor that Kryon, who is channeled by Lee Carroll, gave us in the beginning of 2024. And Kryon has been channeled by Lee Carroll for 36 years. He is a group entity of angelic beings from the other side of the veil. And he came to Lee Carroll in 1989, and he came because we were a planet that potentially could move into ascension at that time. And the prophecy from the indigenous and the ancients, and quite frankly, our star families, is that if we made it past 12/21/2012 without destroying ourselves, that we passed the marker and we would not be destroying ourselves. We would at that point be moving into unity consciousness and moving into the light, where the dark light quotient shifted and at that time, the end of 2012, to favor the light. And so what is taking place on our planet right now is the precession of the equinoxes. And it is a 26,000-year cycle where the sun goes through all 12 signs of the zodiac. Just like our Earth goes around the sun in 365 days, our sun goes around Alcyon, the brightest star in the Pleiadian star system, and it takes 26,000 years. And the sun is in each sign of the zodiac for 2,100 years, as opposed to 30 days for the Earth cycle. And so every 26,000 years, there is a line where the Earth has gone around, and we get to a point called the precession of the equinoxes, which is when we are lined up with the equator of the galaxy. And the midpoint of that is 12/21/2012. So we moved into the light, we're in unity consciousness, but we've come from what Kryon says is eons of being in the dark. And right now, we are seeing the dark claw its way into trying to take over whatever it can in whatever way it can, because the light is winning. And how do we know? We know because we're watching what they're doing. It's right on our TV screens. You know, it's on our YouTube. It's everywhere. We're just watching it all happen. And so that's different. In the past, this is how life was conducted, and we couldn't see any of it, and we went right along with it. So what I want to share, and I've shared it before on my videos, but this is a new channel, so I don't have a lot of people watching my videos. So I want to share again this metaphor that Kryon gave us. So on 12/21/2012, we move from old energy, shadow energy, all about separation, cruelty, fear, and we crossed what Kryon calls the marker. And we crossed that marker into unity consciousness, where we remember that we are all one, and where we practice compassion, and we're in the light. And so that's the struggle taking place now. And we're in new energy. And this new energy is favorable to compassion, and it doesn't care for cruelty, and it's favorable to unity, and it doesn't care for separation consciousness, and it's favorable to love, and it doesn't really support fear. So there are two ships, and in my mind, I see them as Navy ships. And they have been built to the exact same specifications. They are brand new. They do not have a staff on them yet. They do not have a crew, and they are not outfitted yet. But they are two ships exactly alike. Only one is old energy, and the other one is new energy. And they get launched into the ocean, and the ocean is not what it used to be. It's not old energy anymore. It's new energy, because the earth has shifted and humanity has shifted. And we're in new energy now. We've passed the marker. We're in the light. And so these two exactly alike ships get launched, and the old energy ship starts having issues immediately because it's in new energy, the ocean of the new energy. And the new energy doesn't like the old energy. And so this ship, although it is brand new, begins to rust. And then it begins to get holes in it. And in the metaphor, it doesn't sink, but you can tell that's the direction in which it's going. While the other boat, new energy, is just floating along beautifully in the new energy ocean. And what's taking place right now is we have the dark, old energy, using methodologies from the dark, because that's what they know and where they come from and how they operate. And they're using these old modalities and these old tools in new energy. We're in new energy. And all the power in the world and all the money in the world isn't going to change the energy. Everything on this planet and in this solar system shifted, because Earth is more central to activities in the galaxy and the universe than we've been told. And so the energy shifted, and they're trying to implement old energy tactics in new energy. And even though what they're doing is destructive and is creating fear, not only across the country, but across the world, notice nothing works. Nothing they're doing is coming out the way they planned. Nothing is working for them. Everything they try does not work. And yes, they're making a mess of everything. But I'm also going to remind you that everything's going to change. That's what Kryon says. It doesn't matter. Everything's changing anyway. And he calls 2025 the emergence of the indigos. And the indigos are folks who are 45 and under, maybe 50 and under. And they came to this planet specifically to bring about total, complete, and radical transformation based on new energy. And they are here, and my trilogy weaves the indigos all the way through, as it does astrology and teachings from Kryon and all of the systems that have been put in place by our Pleiadian star parents should we make it past the marker. And so there are lots of systems in place that are activated now, one of which is our 24th pair of chromosomes, which are multidimensional, which are coming online, and our intuition is really going off, and we are awakening. And right now, our sun is having one huge solar flare after another, and now there's a corona hole where the hole is, the energy coming from it is being directed right here at Earth, and this is on March 26th that I'm sharing this. So I just want you to notice everything they try is not working. And yes, it's scary. And yes, it's frightening. And yes, they're trying to rip everything apart. But the reality is it kind of needs to be ripped apart anyway. So in their own way, these characters are really saving the emerging indigos a lot of trouble, because they won't have to tear it all down because it's being torn down. And they will be putting it back together, Kryon says, in a way that provides solutions, and that we have been stuck in dysfunction and can't seem to get beyond it. But that these young people who I have known for decades came here to make this transformation. And this is from the indigenous, it's from actually, Lee Carroll and his partner at the time wrote the books about the indigo children in the late 1990s. So here's just a little message of hope. They are operating as old energy and new energy, and everything they try is not working. And so the whole thing is not going to work, and the light will prevail. and the indigos will step up and provide solutions. And there's other information coming from our star parents that will provide clean energy, free energy, fresh food, fresh water. We are moving into a golden era, but we have to fight off the dark first, because we are a planet and a humanity in ascension. We made it past the marker. We're just having to deal with this leftover residue that is just not going to lay down for us and allow us to just smoothly walk into peace on earth. So take a little moment and realize we are one, and that we are a new energy, and that we are co-creating a world that works for everyone. Everyone, have a great week.